My asthma is acting up today and my inhaler is currently expired, so let's see if I faint during this recording. Om Swastiastu, Asantang Raja. Hatsune Miku. Oh, thou need no such introduction. For those of you who have been living under a rock this entire time, which, how the hell did you find this video? Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid. Vocaloid is a software developed by Yamaha back in 2003, I think. It's a software that operates similarly to text-to-speech, but you can make the voice bank sing. Hatsune Miku was the name and face given to one of those voice banks, and she's quite popular. And because she's a cute anime girl with over 100,000 goddamn songs on her roster, you can bet on the high heavens she's got an abysmal amount of figurines. Some of which are her default outfit, most of them are variants. And of those variants is one called Sakura Miku, a version of Miku to represent Japan's second most beautiful season, Hanami season. I say second because Ajisai season is objectively better. This all started when I caught wind that Furio, a figure-making company, announced a new noodle stopper figure for Sakura Miku for 2025. I wasn't really the figure collecting type. I only had one Miku figure at the time, and I had been pining after her for about a year before finally buying her off Shopee. I'm super picky about figurines anyways, and the chances of a prize figure gaining my attention is gonna be slim, so oh my f***ing god, she's beautiful. I genuinely cannot believe Sakura Miku has only 4 other designs, not including her default one, because look how cute she is! Are you joking? I have a sneaking suspicion that it's due to people, mostly quote-unquote Miku purists, who have this really annoying tendency to complain about how if she doesn't fit this specific criteria, then she's not Hatsune Miku. To which I find those people annoying. So shut up. Default Teal Miku has all of these beautiful, figurine designs. Meanwhile, Sakura Miku has a whopping 4. And I will not stand for such neglect! Oh, that actually took a lot out of my lungs, Jesus Christ. So today, Chad, you're gonna sit down as I tell you how I designed my own Sakura Miku. Quick note that the folks over at Huion have sent me their Kamvas 16 Gen 3 to review. They sent me the previous version of this tablet last year, so I'll be comparing them later on in the video when we get to the final illustration. In order to make this video a lot more cohesive, I'll be divvying this up in 2 parts, that being the drafts, the final design plus the reference sheet, and the splash art. I don't know how many of you guys know this since I don't really talk about it on my YouTube channel a lot, but I'm a concept artist. As a concept artist, you need to go through a lot of drafts before nailing a final design. For Miku, I went through about 3 rounds of drafts before settling on a design I was 100% happy with. I used to dive right into the first design I came up with on the fly, but that led to some very boring and dry designs, so I grew out of that habit real quick when applying for university. Something that we do that has been drilled into my brain by my very French concept art teacher is draw multiple versions of the same idea to see which one works out the best in terms of design language. It's a good way to see what design elements work and which ones need to be changed and or cut. I started off with doing concepts in grayscale so I could focus on the actual look of her outfit without having to worry about color. My initial idea for Sakura Miku was what I like to call early 2000s Disney red carpet nonsense. Whether or not I fully committed to this aesthetic wasn't set in stone, I just needed a jumping off point for these grayscales. I sent this first round of designs to my Discord server to see what the general consensus was, and many of them really like this big puffy jacket, which is understandable, it's a good silhouette, it's cute. Good choice. Miku's hair was something that I really wanted to get right because it's just so iconic that it was honestly kind of a struggle to do anything with it. Her standard stupid anime hair with the middle part with the curtain bangs is just so iconic, and as much as I love it, I thought this particular style has been done a lot, and I really like Miku designs where her fringe looks different and unique, so I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go with that instead. Besides, as long as she has twin tails, it doesn't really matter, she's still Miku at the end of the day. After some creative finagling, I came up with these 3 designs. One with a more sporty vibe with the big pink varsity jacket, a simpler but cutesy look with cowboy boots, and one leaning all the way into the preppy early 2000s look with the dress and the jeans combo. I put up a poll on both Instagram and Discord, let it run, and general consensus was the big jacket wins again. I took some critiques and suggestions here and there from both of the polls, and I decided to combine the heart-shaped fringe from Design B with the pigtails from Design C to create this final draft. I also decided to make her socks and shoes more prominent in order to balance out her massive jacket. If you're worried about the colors being too bright, don't worry. I'm planning on making them a lot more pastel as we do the reference sheet. I also cooked up this alternate color scheme because, as much as I love the contrast that the big green jacket gives to the overall look, it's a good contrast, don't get me wrong, but Sakura Miku needs to be 80% pink by volume. So we're gonna leave the big green jacket in our memories, rest in peace. This reference sheet, I followed this one from 2023 Snow Miku by Isaki. I was planning on just doing a front and back view, but I decided to do a quick little side view as well to further illustrate how the sleeves would look. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, if your OC has a graphic somewhere on their clothes, I recommend drawing that graphic on its own canvas just so you can copy and paste it whenever you need it. So when I was making the drafts, I kind of had the conventions of a prize figure in mind. Prize figures, if you don't know, is what we call figurines that are made to be put into crane games. They're a lot cheaper than scale figures, which also means that their quality is much lower to match their price. However, recently, a lot of figure companies have been absolutely nailing their prize figures. They still come with imperfections and paint scuffs, of course, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them are really good quality for how much they actually cost. I didn't bother doing any shading for this reference sheet because 1, it's a reference sheet, it doesn't need to be fully rendered, that's what the splash art is for. And number 2, I was lazy. Hi! Hi! It arrived! Right here. Okay, we're switching over to voiceover because I'm not about to make you guys listen to a drill for the next 3 minutes. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, this is the Kamvas 16 Gen 3. It's new generation to the previous tablet they sent me, which is the Huion Kanvas 16 2021. But for the sake of speech flow, I'll be calling it the Gen 2 because that's essentially what it is. Like all of Huion's tablets, the box comes with a readjustable stand, pen, a little packet with a glove and a screen wipey thingy, a shit ton of cables, and a pen stand that I like calling the donut because it looks like a donut. By the way, if you want to see the full review for the 2021 version of this tablet, it will be linked at the end of this video and the description if you're interested. I said earlier in the video that I wanted to do a comparison, but there's really only like 2 noticeable differences. The first one are the buttons on the side of the tablet. The Gen 3 has less buttons than the Gen 2, but it replaces the top and the bottom one with a scroll wheel, which can zoom in and out, it can adjust the brush size, and you can also scroll up and down. You can change what commands you want to set them as by pressing the middle button. Also, because I had people ask me about this in my last review video, this tablet, along with basically all of Huion's tablets, are lefty compatible. They have a guide on their website on how you can change it for lefties, and I'll link it in the description as well. The second point of comparison is the pen. Not only does it have an extra button bonus, but it's noticeably heavier. It honestly took so long for me to get used to it because I'm so used to like digital pens being lightweight, but I'm kind of fond of it now. The nib itself has a lot more tooth to it, so it feels more like drawing on paper, which is great for me because I really love sketchbooking, so being able to feel like I'm drawing on paper is just a plus for me. If you're worried about cable management, the tablet's got a 3-in-1 cable for your standard HDMI and USB-C connection, along with a cable that connects your tablet to your computer with just one USB-C port. Also, if you watched my last review video, do you remember how in that video for the Gen 2 I couldn't get the USB-C cable to work? Well, I found out why. Alright, so I looked it up and turns out it's a skill issue on the behalf of my computer because apparently if you want to use the USB-C to USB-C like connecty thingy, this has to be a display port because not all USB-C like ports are like display functional. So if you want to use the USB-C to USB-C connection port, there has to be like a little the letter D next to the SS port like icon. That's what it looks like, and apparently that's supposed to be it's to show that your computer can like output display through the USB-C, because otherwise you can't. If you're watching this and you're deciding between the Gen 3 and the 2021 version of the Kamvas 16, I'd say if you're willing to splurge and you like the extra features that comes with the Gen 3, I'd say go for it. But if it's out of your budget, that's okay. The 2021 Kamvas 16 is still a really good tablet, and if you truly don't care about the new features the Gen 3 brings, I'd recommend this one. Thank you again, Huion, for sending me this tablet. The illustration process was a fucking nightmare because not only was I wrangling another episode of chronic pain, but I was struggling a lot with the rendering. I finished rendering this piece and was ready to start editing this video, but I was so unhappy with the results that I just restarted the entire process. I changed the cell shading to a softer style because that's what I've been vibing with lately, and I'm much happier with the end product now. I wanted to make the splash art look like it was made for a figure, so I kept in mind the overall balance of the piece. I debated whether to make her a noodle stopper or a desktop cutie because I knew her jacket was going to be the main base. Right from from the get-go I didn't want her to be a standing figure because she's super top-heavy, and I can already imagine a hypothetical scenario in which her hypothetical figure would snap off the base. But in the end, I decided with this pose. Miku's sitting down eating an onigiri while you wait for your noodles to cook. I really like how I drew her hand. I did really good with that hand, goddamn. So that was my design process for Spring Varsity Miku. This was a really fun design exercise, and I recommend doing it if you're into concept art or just really like Miku. Or both, if you're me. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your critiques on how I could improve, and if this video gets enough reception, I might tackle a design for Teal Miku, who knows? Maybe I can hit her with the Indo beam or something, I don't know. Once again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you to my Discord members for your beautiful, amazing fan art, and I'll see y'all in the next video, whenever that may be. Cheers! Okay, I did not faint, but I'm still a little bit sesak nafas dikit. I wonder when my inhaler expired. Let me check. November 2024. Should I risk it? Should I risk it for the biscuit, guys? No. It's medication. You never, ever, ever use expired medication. No matter how Asian you are. Oh, God. I need to call my GP.